Hot rod was a counterculture.
It embodies a lifestyle, a passion, a zeal.
Hot rodding was a club.
It's about who you are and what you are.
Hot rod is where it all began. In the early years of Hot Rod, which was started by Robert E. Peterson, it wasn't journalism, it was affinity journalism. Bob Peterson knew that he had to go out and be one of the guys. And in order to do that, he had to walk the walk, he had to talk the talk in order to successfully launch a magazine like Hot Rod. Well, I think in every world, we have to have good cars to start with. And obviously, the Ford vehicles were where Hot Rod began. They got this Ford panel, it was the perfect deal. Rickman could throw all his gear in the back. They could drive out from Los Angeles up to Bonneville or out through the middle of nowhere and represent the magazine well. It wasn't a hot rod necessarily, but it was Hot Rod. With Hot Rod celebrating its 60th anniversary, it was time to rekindle the relationship with Ford and perhaps bring back a staff vehicle that we could be very proud of, that illustrated what Hot Rod was. The fact is, we could have gone and built an old car and made it a Hot Rod panel or done something like that. But, when Ford approached us to build a Flex, they asked us, what would you specifically do? What would you want? What would get across the Hot Rod attitude in a Ford Flex? And it was immediate. There was no question what we were going to do. The thought was, paint it suede red. Give it a metal flake roof. What better way to have a great branded vehicle that hits all the marks in terms of what we're trying to accomplish with the magazine, and that's sell more of them. It was a Friday afternoon. The whole concept of what would Hot Rod do with the Flex flashed in our mind. I immediately picked up the phone and called Tavis Highlander, a young illustrator from Washington State who I've worked with a lot.
And he actually called me to do the illustration to begin with to kind of kick the project off. And that was a great introduction, and actually getting your designs published in the Hot Rod magazine and getting them out there.
And said to Tavis, this is my vision, paint it suede red, give it a metal flake roof, and give it kind of a Bonneville attitude. Tavis, 72 hours later, had these illustrations that we're looking at behind me, and they were done and they were perfect, and we shipped them off to Ford, 3 days after the original concept, and they loved it.
It's pretty much an honor, having Hot Rod magazine. It's basically the leader in what I see in the automotive aftermarket as far as publications, and they call on me, I'm pretty dang new, and they have me design a vehicle for them. It's a great honor.
Obviously, after we had the designs finished, we sent them off to Ford, and almost immediately they responded saying, yes, this is exactly what we want. This is something that illustrates Hot Rod with our newest platform vehicle, the Flex. I had in mind, call Larry Weiner at Performance West Media Group, because these guys are excellent at taking concepts and making them reality, and we didn't have much time. I think we had 8-9 weeks to go from having nothing done to having the finished and completed vehicle. I'm proud to say we're done, and it looks great.
Jerry called me on the phone in the office and told me what he had in mind for the Ford Flex. Would I take a look at it?
What's great is Larry took the concept that we had designed.
Jerry said, well, who would you like to work with as far as executing and building? I says, I'd really like to do this car in Merlin, Oregon at Hulse Customs. Not only do they have tremendous capability of building a vehicle and painting, but they have great fabrication skills, which to me was critical for this vehicle.
Inside, we turned to Catskin, who makes some of the most beautiful leather seats in the aftermarket, and they're available to everybody. But we took just the basic black leather seats, added a Wren insert, put a Hot Rod embroidery on the headrest. We took all the different looks and textures and made them all consistent. So what we would do is add more of a hammered metal look to the interior brightwork and the exterior brightwork, so it's very consistent throughout the vehicle.
But we knew that there was going to be a motor in the back of the car. So it's got to be anchored securely, and there you're looking at what's the subframe in the bottom, where can we pick good points to anchor it and bolt it down. So you've built a safe vehicle, a durable vehicle.
For the graphics, our goal was to use our retro Hot Rod logo. And so we simply had Jason make up a vinyl mask, lay it out on the doors, and then they would spray out the white right over the flat red, and it just comes off as perfect. It's door art, it's everything that we wanted to accomplish. For the wheels, put a moon disc on it. For the tires, we use Pirelli Scorpions. It's the latest technology, but the retro look. This project's gone really smoothly, and that's because there was so much planning and so much detailed execution. And when we designed it, we knew we had a fast pace to get to.
Here we are, the vehicle's done, and it is everything everybody expected, and it's what the plan was, because we had great communication, great understanding, and everybody understood what they needed to do.
In reality, this project was so well managed by Larry and Jason, I didn't lose any sleep over it. I knew I had a capable and able team, and that's why we chose to all work together. We all had the vision. We knew what we had to get accomplished, and we accomplished it.